Sherry, nice to be
Sherry,
here.
all right. So Sherry, we've heard so much about you. All right. So, I met Pastor, I think it was about um almost 4 years ago when he did a huge concert in Guyana. And he did
Oh.
such a great job, all right? And he even shared his testimony about his queen, okay?
Amen.
All right. All right. So how are you guys doing today? What did the snow do to y'all?
Well, nothing different than what the pandemic did. We've been locked down for months, so
Yeah.
the snow
Yes.
just locked us down even further.
Well,
But
you
it's
know what?
beautiful to see.
I'm glad that you even mentioned that word lockdown. All right,
Mhm.
because this lockdown has taught us a lot about ourselves. It's taught us a lot about our relationships, about our marriages. It's just taught us a lot. you know,
Absolutely.
yes. So, Pastor, now even though the program is called Girl Power, um, I want to see girls win in every area of their lives. All right, I believe in women's empowerment, but I believe that it extends beyond just finances, just beyond them excelling in their jobs, beyond them excelling at business. I want to see women excel in relationships, and I want to see them excel in marriages. All right, so that's the reason why I invited you two wonderful folks. Okay, you
Mhm.
two wonderful folks who've been married for 20 years and still looking like 20 to tell us, some of your secrets. Because there's lots of discussions, I've been having on Facebook recently with my Facebook friends and family. And one of the things that we've been talking about, the first thing is why men hide their feelings. Why they don't talk about their feelings, because sometimes this poses lots of problems in relationships, because sometimes we as women, we might think that, well, you know what, only we have emotions, or we might think that, well, only we hurt.
Mm.
But that's not necessarily true. All right, men have emotions and men do hurt. So we would like to know, why do men hide their feelings? Pastor, maybe you can go first.
I don't know if I'm the best person because
I
I
know.
don't hide mine at all.
well,
But
well,
well, let me start
you're the
here.
best person to answer this.
Yeah, probably right. But let me start here, Melissa. Let me first start by saying thank you for having us on
Yeah.
the show. And for those who don't know, those that are listening, my name is Pastor Richard Ishmael, aka Ritchie Righteous. I am a born Guyanese, and so
Oh
is my
yes,
wife.
oh
Yep.
yes,
So is
yes,
my wife.
yes.
And
Born
so
Guyanese.
we've been ministering and pastoring in New York City, Church City, USA, and I also have been doing. Most people would know me from the music end, right?
Mm-hmm.
Touring and doing music for as long as I've been married to you.
Yes.
Oh
Amen.
yes.
So over 20 years,
Oh
and
yes, and
God
he
has
can
blessed
he
us.
can be found on YouTube. Pull him up right now, Richie Righteous. You would really love his music. His music is it's it's young, it's hip, it's
Yeah.
amazing. All right, I love it.
Well, I tell you what, with the music end, I have been blessed because I know Guyana is reggae and soca city, but I have been blessed to been able to live in New York City and really got into the hip hop culture and make
Oh,
an
oh, oh well,
impact.
that culture's in Guyana too. All
Well, I
right.
know, I know, I know, I know. A shout out to my man DC if he's listening, and
All
Sean.
right.
Amen.
Yes, I know him.
Yeah, yeah, that's my brother, young brother. That's my
Yes.
little brother. But yeah. So we've been married for 20 years, four children.
Mm-hmm.
My eldest is getting ready to graduate college. My second is getting ready to start college, and then I've got two other little boys. So,
Mm-hmm.
the Lord has been good to us. We've been able to hold this marriage together for 20 years.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, the question is a very good one because the heart of the question deals with communication.
Mm.
Oh wow.
So when a man, whenever something is shut down, there's three things that will always affect a marriage, right? And that everybody knows. We speak about it all the time: the intimacy, the finances, and the communication, and they're all interlocked.
Oh
They're all
wait,
interlocked.
Pastor. No, 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 no.
I'm going
We
too
gotta back.
fast.
No, no, no. We're gonna back it up a little bit there. I want you to repeat what you just said. There are three things that hold a marriage, because guess what? Like I said just now, I want to see women winning in their relationships and in their marriages. And there's a proverb that says, "In all you're getting, get understanding." All right. So
Right.
we need to get some understanding here today. So say it over again, because we want to take notes. All right.
Absolutely, absolutely. So let me go slower and get this again. Three things that any counselor, anytime you sit in any session, anytime you read any books, they will highlight the heart of it that will affect a marriage. Number one, the intimacy. Number two, the finances. And number three, the communication.
Wow.
And people always ask which one is more important. And I have concluded that while you might find that one is might be more important, they all are interlocked. And what I mean by that is when one is affected, the others get affected.
Wow.
Right. So if there is no communication, then we cannot talk properly about what financial decisions we can make as a family. So finances is affected if we're not talking.
Wow.
If we don't talk about your spending habits, right? And I mean, this is 20 years, right? When we first got married, I was a terrible spender with money. I kept getting a lot of bills, and she was ready to throw me out from day one. I mean, it was one night, literally, Melissa, I came home to this woman and I'm sitting there and she looked at me, she said, "What is wrong with you? You just seem to attract all the bills." And I said to her, I don't go out there and get it done on purpose. I need help. What was beautiful though is that the communication allowed us to teach each other. Had I shut down, had she shut down, we wouldn't have been able to build on the financial end. Likewise, to the intimacy goes. If we're not talking, there is no love in the home for the, to keep it whatever. But the others are true too. When finances are bad in the house, when you've got a lot of bills, it's hard to not be under stress and communicate properly. The communication is a little bit more aggressive because there's external things happening. And then if, as a couple, and I'm a Bible believer and I'm a pastor, the Bible talks about the importance of the relationship having intimacy. If that's not present, then, especially for men, that's gonna, and you know what, as a pastor, let me retract that. Because I've met many women who has had problems in that area with their men. So it's not exclusive to one, but the three things are important. And getting back on topic, shutting down affects directly one of those areas, and that's the communication. And if you're not communicating, I think it's important for men and women to know that if you choose to shut down, and I have a saying that everybody knows me for, you make your choices and then your choices make you.
Wow.
Right? So you can make the choice, but you cannot determine the outcome. The consequence is connected to the choice. And oftentimes we don't think consequence, we think choice. So in this moment, if I choose for the next 3 days not to talk to you, that's my choice. But what I'm failing to see is that the consequence is you might end up in divorce.
So basically what you're saying, all right, because this is a very deep issue, all right? Now, us women, most of us, I can't say all of us, right? But most of us women, we have no issue communicating. I could tell you the truth. Sometimes I have to stop myself from communicating with people generally because I could over communicate.
Right.
All right. But we know that, some of our brothers have that problem with, or that issue, I should say, with communicating, and that is for different reasons.
Right.
Now, I actually put out a Facebook post, and some men were saying that they don't communicate because of socialization, the way they were raised, because that from the time that some boys were like 4 years old and they're crying, we say, what are you crying for? It's only girls cry. And so we have literally taught our men, I can't speak for North American culture because we're Caribbean people, all right? So I know in the Caribbean, we've actually taught our men to hold in their emotions.
Right.
And then there are men who said that they believe that women think that they're robots, and so they don't have emotions or they don't have any right. So they say it takes two to tango, all right?
Absolutely.
So what should a man do? Because like I keep saying, even though the name of this broadcast is called Girl Power, I want to see our girls in healthy relationships.
Absolutely.
You know, I love healthy relationships. I love healthy marriages. All right.
Mhm.
And I am by no means a hater of men at all. I love my kings, you know.
Right,
I
right,
love to see healthy, happy families. All right. So basically, what I understand that you're saying is that regardless of the circumstances that are presented to men that prevent them from communicating, the onus is still on them to find a way to communicate.
Absolutely.
Because if they don't
Absolutely.
communicate, it will have consequences on the relationship.
It'll have
Wow.
consequences on your relationship, on your marriage, on your children, on everybody.
Wow.
When you see, here's the thing, Melissa. If I'm somebody drowning in debt, I can't wait for somebody else to figure out how to pay my bills. It's on me to figure that out. And so it is. Even though you are shutting down, you have to get some type of help. Now, to for our relationship, it's been the opposite.
Mm-hmm.
She's the one who used to shut down a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like when my wife got mad, to her, I should automatically know. You should know why I am mad. Why you don't know. And that's what Sherry used to do. And one day, and what I noticed is, like, in the beginning of the marriage, this one shutdown would go for 1 day to 2 day to 3 day to 4 day. And this is going to bless the men. So whoever's shutting down in the relationship, whether it's a man, and I'm gonna get back to talking to the men because I know specifically you wanted to focus in on that. But one of the things that I came at,
that's all right. You just flow.
Right. What I told my wife was, I said, you know what? It's okay for you to be mad at me because I do a lot of bonehead stuff. I get it. I mess up, right? I understand you're angry. I told you I was going to show up at 5 o'clock and I came 10 p.m. tonight and I kept telling you I'm at the light. I'm around the corner. I'm coming. I'm 5 minutes away, and my 5 minutes turned into an hour and you got angry, and I understand totally, right? But what I had to tell her was, that, you know, it's okay for you to be mad at me. But if you stay mad for the next, right? So she's mad at me, she shut down. And I said, okay, it's cool for you to be mad. But if you stay mad 1, 2, 3 days and you don't want to talk to me, I had to tell her this. I said, you are teaching me that you're comfortable living without me.
Wow.
And I'm
because wait. Let me ask you stop right there. Because truth be told, all right, you know, I used to be like that years ago.
Right.
You know, you just give them the silent treatment.
Yeah. But what you don't understand, Melissa,
I didn't realize that silent treatment was communicating a message.
You are communicating to me, and that's what, because I got married to you. I'm married to you.
Wow.
And so, when I went to the altar and I said, for better or worse, and for everything, I'm giving all of these pledges we made to figure this out together. And whenever you angry, you want to, you know, teach me a lesson. I'm not a child. I'm a grown man, right?
Wow.
And when she used to stay silent, I had to literally go to her and say, listen, if you continue to do this, what I'm getting is that you, because she's functioning perfectly fine, cooking, eating, joking with the kids, driving, doing everything. And I'm like, but the one thing you wouldn't do is talk to me.
Talk to you, yes.
So I felt like, okay, so you're perfectly fine living without me. And I had to tell her, I said, it's either you're going to need me and I'm going to feel like I'm needed, or you're going to keep teaching me that you're perfectly fine without me, and I'm going to start building a separate life, finding new friends and trying to find my happiness elsewhere. Now, what is true for her is also true for men. So
basically you're saying that the silent treatment doesn't teach anybody a lesson other than the lesson of, hey, I'm trying to tell you that I don't need you and I can live without you. So it's like I'm trying to tell you, well, go find somebody else to talk to because I'm not talking to you.
Right. And so what I'm saying is
it's destructive to a relationship or to a marriage.
Absolutely. Because it's ruining the one principle, one of the things that the key elements that I was talking about in marriage, communication. See, and I'm not saying it's not okay to be angry. You're a human
Yes.
being. Things will get you upset. But when
Yes.
that anger goes from 1 hour to
Mm-hmm.
1 day to
Wow.
2 days to an entire week, a husband and a
Wow.
wife has not spoken. Now it's destructive. You
Wow.
cannot let that go on. And it's not only true for the women that shut down, but men shut down. And when you do that, you are communicating to your wife, I don't need you to survive.
Wow.
And the truth of the matter is the people who shut down are hurting too.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that, like you said, Melissa, there's cultural reasons why we shut down. Maybe we saw it in our parents. That's how mom and dad used to do it. Get mad, shut down, that's it. Maybe it's cultural, maybe it's maybe you weren't raised with a father or a mother to teach you these things.
Mm-hmm.
All of that affect you. Maybe for whatever reason, you never dealt with those issues. Like you said, you were told that it's soft if you give in, and we got all these. But one of the things that I keep in the back of my mind is that if my life is going to be successful, the people I'm connected to, I've got to get them to be the best them, and to really invest in them. And one of the things my wife tells me is that whenever I talk about, like, I met a new friend or this person, I think Sherry would always say, if you want to build a relationship with that person, you have to invest time into them. And so
are you trying to say that when we're in a relationship or in a marriage that we can't just communicate when we feel like and everything don't revolve around us? Is that what you're trying to say?
It don't. And listen, with your marriage, you have to be, and I want to say this to the brothers out there, whatever is because I'm gonna give you this story, Melissa. You're gonna love this. You might stop me a million times during this one, because this one is filled with a lot of points. Years ago, my father bought a fish tank, right? And I was a young boy. I was maybe 13 years old, Sherry. And he bought this fish tank, and fish tanks get dirty after a while if you don't clean them. So one day my dad was going out to the mall, and he said, he's gone, and he left us home. And I wanted to do something nice for my father. I said, I'm going to clean this fish tank. Well, in cleaning a fish tank, you got to take the fish out, put it in separate water. You take all the water out, you clean the tank, and then you put water back in. Well, I did all of that. I was doing a great job, and I failed at one thing. When it was time to put the water back in the tank, Melissa, I live in New York City where it's cold. Whenever it's time to take a bath, we like warm water. So in my young mind, I figured the fish is not going to want cold water. Right. So you already see where this is headed. I figured this fish might need some warm water. So instead of putting back water that is at the right temperature, I put back in hot water and put the fish in. Now, as a young boy, I didn't know, but the fish was signaling to me he's dying because the water was hot. And he started turning on the side.
Oh my God. The fish was cooking. The fish was steaming.
Right. But here's the point though, Melissa. He's in hot water. He's in his world, but there's no way he's able to communicate to me, you're killing me.
Oh my gosh.
Melissa makes me laugh. I don't know if they're seeing us live on Zoom, but y'all gotta see.
Yes, they're seeing us. It's streaming. They're hearing us on the radio, and it's streaming live on Facebook on the Mad 97.5 FM page. They're seeing us.
Yeah. But so my point to get back to it is that sometimes we are sending signals. When a man is shutting down, when a woman in your relationship is shutting down, it's signals. And the only way you can know, because I'm telling you this, Melissa, there's a lot of men in relationships and women too that are like the fish. They are screaming, they are slowly dying, but no one is hearing them. We are seeing the signals. We are thinking we are doing the right thing, but that person is dying. And the only thing that could solve that communication is if that fish and me were speaking the same language, and the fish could pop his head out and say,
Wow.
"You are killing me."
Wow.
Well, fish can't do that, but humans can.
Yes.
And if we don't open up to say, listen, and this is where grace comes in on both partners. You have to give freedom in a relationship for a person to speak. And oftentimes why people shut down more is because they don't have the freedom in the house. They feel like if I tell you this is what you do wrong, that person takes it so personal as something is wrong with me.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Or like you're attacking me. If I say, well, I don't like this or that, like you're attacking me, But I love that word that you used there. You said freedom.
Right.
And that's a very serious word there, because I was as I was sharing before in another broadcast, that control has no part in any healthy relationship.
Absolutely not.
I feel I have to run through your phone. Look, let me see who you're talking to. Let me see. I have to check all your messages. I have to check your email, And oh my gosh, God forbid if a member of the opposite sex is calling. They might be calling for business or something totally different. It might be the delivery person,
Right. And,
right.
And all of that is true, Melissa. And see, in relationship, listen, when people talk to us, they say, people often say we're unique because we're not without problems.
Right.
But I think getting rid of all of this, the stigmas of what a relationship ought to be, and really wanting to make this work has made the 20 years I'm in love with my wife as much as I was from day one.
Wonderful.
There's certain things we've never given each other. Like this phone, I could hand it to my wife. My son works for me. My son works my social media. He could go through all of my inboxes. My kids can look at everything. Why? Because there's if you have to live that type of life, get help. Where people can't trust you, right?
And I think that for someone to not trust you, you on the other hand have to make it an open affair where they can actually look through your phone.
Right.
That is signaling that there's something that.
But Sherry, is it a right or is it a privilege to be able to check through your partner's phone?
I would say a right, because at any point, because you see my view, I have a biblical view. Mm-hmm. So when God created man and woman, he created them to be one. This is teamwork, right? So if we have a marriage that is built on God's foundation, everything is open. If you feel that there's something going on and you want to look through my phone, you should be free, because you having trust in me is going to better this relationship. But if for some reason you don't trust me, then that's where the communication is going to come in. It shouldn't be my phone is off limits, because then you're telling me certain things in your life is off limits, and that can't be in a marriage.
Yeah, and some people would use the excuse of, well, why don't you just trust me? Well, the thing is, have you ever considered that this person might have had a past where people might have hurt or abused this person? And so people bring baggages from past relationships into new ones. If you have a little bit more grace to say, listen, what happened in your last relationship is not going to happen in this one. So here's the phone. You need it 1,000,000 times. Look at it 1,000,000 times until it clicks in your head. Well, you can trust me.
But I'm glad that you mentioned that, because I always advocate that people need to be healed from whatever happened in the past relationship.
Correct.
Because they might find somebody who's absolutely wonderful and trustworthy, who might say, okay, here's the phone. You could go through it. You could do whatever you want to do with the phone. But then it still wouldn't be enough if that person is not healed.
That's true. But Melissa, when you get into a relationship, this is why I always tell people, investigate before you get in.
Oh my gosh, music to my ears. I tell people the same thing, investigate. Yes.
Because here's the problem there, Melissa. So you have trust issues and I go marry you.
Right.
I said I do. When I'm saying I do, I'm not just saying I do to hopefully you will change. I'm saying I do to who you currently are, knowing that you may never change.
So you're not saying I do to potential. You're saying I do
Come
to
on.
present.
Right.
First of all, I know a lot of preachers. Listen, now, this I'm gonna get into a lot of trouble because I know this is popular in the Caribbean. I know, and it came from a wonderful, anyway, teaching that I love. I know there's a saying in the Caribbean that potential, the most potential you will ever see is in the graveyard. Right? Meaning that there's a lot of people who die that never fulfilling their call.
Their potential, yes.
Right. And people always say that, they preach, a lot of preachers preach potential. Potential, in my mind, does not exist until it is fruition. Do you understand that? So,
but it's true. But you're right. You're right. You're right.
Let me say this point. When it comes to picking, you can as a father, you can teach your kids they have potential. I understand it. But when it comes to picking a wife
or a husband,
that's the one area you don't want to pick potential.
Yes.
You want to, because, and I'm not saying, what I am not saying, because I know how people can, misconstrue. What I'm not saying is that people cannot become something. Absolutely they can. But what you have to understand is that when you've made that choice, if they never become that, are you comfortable with what they are now?
Woo.
Because if they never become the potential, you're stuck with the whatever it was before. So if I married you and you have trust issues, there's two things I need to do. I need to know, okay, they have trust issues. Am I willing to live with that? And if I am, and here's the thing, that's not a negative necessarily. God might give you the grace to help the healing. God, you if I'm marrying you and you want to see my phone 1,000,000 times, I'm aware of that. And I'm aware you have trust issues, but I love you enough to believe that, I can be gracious enough to help you heal. Right?
So
but you have to be aware of that.
True. So let me backpedal a bit, all right? Because you're dropping so many gems that I don't want to miss them, and I don't want our listeners to miss them either. Right. So you're saying that when someone is about to get married to somebody else, they have to ask themselves, can I live with this or that?
Absolutely.
Don't worry about this thing, oh, I'll marry him or her, and then they will change. They may change. They may very well change, but we don't know if it's going to happen in year 1, 2, 3, year 20, probably year 40. Yeah, right? Yeah. So you're saying one of the things we need to ask ourselves, can I live with this or that? Can I live with it? Because you see, the thing about it, I was married before, all right? And the thing about it is that we see lots of red flags, and sometimes we just, if the red flags are screaming at us, they're jumping out at us, and guess what? People that love us say to us, you know what, John, I always say John Jones, right? Right. I think in America you guys say John Doe or Jane Doe. We say John Jones or Jane Jones, all right? So people will say to us, John Jones, I heard that this person that you're interested in, that they have 6 kids that they don't look after. You meet somebody else down the road, they're going to tell you the same thing. But the person you're with, they say, no, I only have these 3 kids living with me. And so the red flags are screaming there. And we might say, look, I don't care what anybody says. People could say whatever they want to say.
Right.
But there is a place for us to investigate.
Absolutely.
All right? Investigate. Nothing is wrong with investigating. And one of the things that I mean, all of these things that we're talking about here, they're subjective to our opinions, all right?
Absolutely.
So I'm of the firm belief that lots of marriages from the past lasted so long and are still going on because of the fact that persons married people, for people that they knew. Meaning to say, okay, Jane Jones and John Jones may not have known each other, but their families knew each other. They were from the same community. So the investigation part was very easy. When Jane Jones said, "This is the truth about me," John Jones' family said, "Yes, it's the truth because we know her. We know her sister. We know her aunt. We know her neighbor." All right? And so I'm a strong advocate. Now, people don't have to agree with me, but this is my stance. All right? I'm a strong advocate of not being with somebody that you don't know, or that nobody that you know knows them. Now, people might say, "Melissa, well, you're wrong for saying that," because there are people who get connected online.
Right.
All right?
Right.
And you know, I understand that everybody has their own opinion, but if you're going to get connected with somebody online, nothing is wrong with that. But ensure that you get to know that person.
Right.
Ensure you investigate that person, because I've been living for quite a long time, right? I think 38 years is a long time, right? And you know, and so you keep hearing so many stories of people saying, "You know what, he or she's not who I thought they were. That's why we're getting a divorce."
Well,
Okay.
here's the truth. Here's what you're saying, and here's what I get that I'm doing one of your moves now. So what I'm getting that you're saying is, if I go buy a car, I investigate the car. I just don't take the dealership's word for it.
Correct.
I
Correct.
look up, I Google, I check, I do all.
Facebook,
if I go buy a house,
everybody. I mean, Facebook is one of the easiest ways to investigate people, and it's a start, right? You know, it's actually a start. It's
Right.
not the ultimate way or the ultimate destination in terms of investigating persons, but it's a start. Pull them up on Facebook.
right?
All right, because there's some people who will swear to you that they're single, and when you pull them up on Facebook or Instagram or somewhere, you would see that they just got engaged last week.
Right.
All right, you know, find out from people. Do you know this guy? You know this guy? And let me tell you, in this Caribbean culture, because we're so small in population. I mean, I think in the entire Caribbean it's only like 20-something million people, right?
Right.
So because we're so small in population, everybody knows somebody.
Right.
So
Right.
don't be afraid to investigate people.
Right.
All right?
Right.
When you investigate people, you might come up with some amazing facts. You might hear that, you know what, this is a good man, or this is a good girl, and a whole lot of people will vouch for them and say that they're a good person.
Right.
So at least it gives you a greater comfort level, because when you investigate people, it's not always bad. It's not always that you're going to hear something bad.
Right.
All right?
Right.
You know, but you need to investigate.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
That's very important. Investigate.
Right. Yeah, because and I take it, you know, the point of stress. The point of stress. I wanna throw this out there too. For those that are in marriages, the men and women that are in there, going back to it, you know, like my wife said, we come from a biblical perspective, and there is an element. I preached a sermon years ago titled "When My Ex Shows Up," and when I told the title of the church to the church did exactly what you did. The church gasped like, "What's Pastor about to talk about?" But I wasn't talking about your ex. I wasn't talking about your ex relationship. I was talking about X, the unknown things in your life when they show back up. So, for example, when I was growing up, I might have had a mother who did everything, cook, clean, wash for me. Now I have been taught as a child that I don't got to cook, clean, or wash. Somebody else will do that for me. So I get married, and here comes an ex from my life showing up into the marriage. And I'm walking around the house, dropping my clothes, doing whatever. And the woman looks at me like, "You gonna pick that up, right?" And I'm like, nah, I'm not used to that. Or I give another example. Trauma is something that is not talked a lot about.
Oh
in the
my
Caribbean.
gosh, come on.
I had a
now.
friend years ago. He got his first car and he was so excited. He drove everywhere, Melissa. He was driving, he was calling me, telling me, "Yo, this car is great." But one day he got into a terrible accident and almost lost his life. The same guy who loved driving, after he was in the accident and almost lost his life, When he finally recovered and it was time to drive again, he called me and he said, "Bro, I can't drive." I said, "What do you mean you can't drive?" He said, "No, I can drive. I have the capability to, but every time I sit in the car seat now, I'm scared." Well, what happened? He went through trauma. So sometimes if you're marrying somebody who's abused, and there's another level of investigation that we can talk about, that it's not, that doesn't just have to do with finding out from others who the person is, but talking to the person himself. And this is why, I wish men and women would just be honest with each other and just tell the truth. There are many men.
You touch on something there that um I gotta bring you back as long as you have the time.
Well,
I gotta bring you back because
example,
that is very deep.
Yeah.
People have experienced all types of trauma.
Yeah,
and because
men.
we have
Listen,
not been
Melissa, for example,
honest with each other, when we get married now, it's like a whole different story going on.
It goes crazy.
It's like a nightmare.
Yeah, well, let me say some of the things that is quiet in the Caribbean, because even though I'm living in the States, I got a lot of Caribbean
part
people
of the
in my
culture.
church, and I'm part of the culture. And one of the things in the Caribbean that is not spoken of is that abuse is not only true for women, it's true for men. And I'm talking about when children. So men have all of these things that they're told you can't express, because if you do, you're looked down upon. And so when we get into the relationship, these things will show up. When your ex shows up, the unknown in you is going to come out. And so this is why I think somebody asked the other day, they said the purpose of men is to love each other. And I said to them, that is very true. The problem is there is something stopping us from loving properly. And this is why we believe what we believe. Men are broken. Men are technologically advanced. Melissa, look at this. We are on Zoom, sitting in New York City, airing on a radio in Guyana. But men still cannot fix the basic problems of friendship, relationship, healing a nation, we're technologically advanced, but all the technology has done is just make us more problematic.
But it's amazing, because I had a guest on the program, and I had him in Guyana, of course. That's before I left on Tuesday. He came all the way from California. That's my friend Lauren Stewart. So Lauren was talking about the same thing, and now you're here talking about it again, about the trauma that persons have experienced, and and that we need to be honest with each other, especially when we're getting into serious relationships that's going to lead to marriage. We need to be honest with each other about the trauma that we faced. Absolutely. And we need not hide it. We need to ensure that we find a way to address that trauma by probably going to a counselor or so, because one of the things that I keep saying is that I was divorced in 2012. And so I was so happy to get out of to get out to that situation.
Right.
That I don't know if you ever heard this song, right? Marsha sang this song, I just want to live my life.
That's how you felt.
I was so happy to just live my life. After that, I felt so happy. I felt like, no, seriously, I've seen people go through divorces and they sit down crying in a car, and me, I can't wait to just live. I can't wait to just be happy. I was doing the happy dance, everything. And so I just went along. Let me tell you something. I had a blast. I enjoyed myself. But then I started to get into relationships, and let me tell you, in every single one of those relationships I got into, I was dysfunctional. All right? And guess what? People like talk about a toxic person.
Right.
Well, I was a toxic person.
Right. Right.
Guess why I was a toxic person? Because even though I thought I was so happy and I was free like a bird, I could do whatever I want to do, guess what? I didn't address any of the hurt I went through from that marriage. Right. So if my memory serves me correctly, I think it was 6 years after the date of that divorce that I went and got counseling. That I realized that I can't sweep this thing under the rug no more. I can't just put it away.
Right.
that
Right.
I had to go to somebody professional to get a counseling for 4 weeks.
Right. Right.
Yes,
You
so
want, and that was very important, Melissa,
yes.
because the Bible says this: the first, when God made Adam, He
Mm-hmm.
made a whole man.
Right.
People
Mm-hmm.
often say when they get married, they say, "You complete me." That's the worst statement you can make. My
Oh wow,
wife does
really?
not complete me. My wife does not complete me, because the truth of the matter is, I personally believe that you have to find your happiness in God.
Wow.
And I often say it like this: people come and they say, "Why can't you make me happy?" Well, I've been with you 1 year, and for 20 years, you have not been happy by yourself. And in 1 year, you want a man to do for you what you couldn't do
Or a
by
woman.
yourself for 20 years? That's too
Wow.
much responsibility. So my wife, I don't depend on her to give me happiness.
So when you get into a relationship, basically you got to come with your own happiness.
And that's where I'm going. So let me use scripture to make my point. When God made Adam, He didn't make an incomplete man. He made a complete man. And the first relationship Adam had was with his God. And many people don't know this too, but God also gave Adam a purpose and a job in the garden.
Mm-hmm.
He had a purpose and he had a connection to God. Then when it was time to make a woman, He didn't give Adam even an iota of option to even say what kind of woman. He put Adam to sleep. And when God made Eve, He didn't make a halfway woman. He made a
Made a
full
complete
woman.
woman. Mm-hmm.
And the first relationship the woman had was not with Adam, was with God.
And even so, Pastor,
Mhm.
you also have to have a relationship with yourself, because some people don't even like themselves.
Well, that's
Right?
the
Some
truth.
people don't like their skin color. They don't
Right.
like the size of their waist, the size of their hips. Some people don't
Right.
like their hair. Some people don't like anything about themselves, but they
Well,
expect somebody else to love them too.
so watch this. Watch this. What you're speaking to there is what I'm talking about. Completeness.
Mm-hmm.
You just help to make the point of what I'm saying. So when I say God made a whole man, Adam was not dissatisfied with what God made. Eve was not dissatisfied. There was no dysfunctionality in them.
No
So when
self-esteem
God brought the
issues.
two together, the two together were coming together completed, and the two became one, right?
Wow.
So if I'm coming to you and I'm expecting you to fix the abuse in me, you might not be capable of that.
Wow.
And so now I get mad and angry at you
So you
because
so
I'm
wait,
looking.
so you're saying,
Mhm.
all right, that your partner could not heal you of the abuse you went through. That's what you're saying?
I'm saying they can help. I'm saying that they can help. I'm saying that God can give them the grace to become part of that healing process. But what I am saying is, if you put that expectancy solely on another person to be the total healing
So
of your past, they might not be able to carry such a big burden. For example, if I'm somebody who was molested and for the kiddie's sake, or something traumatic,
yeah.
it might take more than just my wife telling me she loves me to overcome that.
Well, let me ask you this one question, because after this we have to break for the news, all right?
Right.
And I definitely have to bring you and Sherry back another time, because this is deep, all right?
Yeah.
So let me just ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
If you have gone through a traumatic situation, a breakup, a divorce, any kind of situation that really was traumatic, is a relationship the solution
to the trauma? No. And that's a question got to be unpacked, right?
All right.
See, for us, first of all, when you don't know the purpose of a thing, you're going to abuse it. So
Wow.
I feel, me and my wife, God has taught us the purpose of a relationship. Most people don't know the purpose of the relationship. So we understand that like we don't hide anything, Melissa. One time I sat in a men's meeting.
Pastor,
listen to this.
We have to go now, right? We have to go now, but this is so interesting.
Yeah.
I'll definitely have to bring back you, Sherry. All right. So we're gonna talk about that offline. But today we just want to thank you so much, Pastor Ritchie Righteous. All right.
Yes.
I want you guys to check him out on
Facebook at
on
Ritchie Righteous.
Facebook, Instagram, and listen, when you check him out on Facebook or Instagram, you know, even though he carries the title of pastor, don't be surprised at what you see. All right, this is one of the real modern day pastors. All right, you know, this is one of the coolest people around. Okay, so don't be surprised. Don't be like, no, this can't be the man. Yes, that's the man. All right, so check him out also on YouTube. All right, you know, he's a family man. He's been married for 20 years. He has 4 beautiful kids, all right? And he and his wife still looking like 20. So don't be surprised when you see their pictures, all right? So
thank you, Melissa.
Like I said, go follow him on YouTube, Ritchie Righteous. You're gonna love his music, all right? He, you know, he does this hip hop gospel. It's really, really cool with a nice Caribbean flavor to it, all right? So I'm definitely gonna bring you guys back, all right? Because this was some deep stuff here.
Amen.
All right, so love y'all and thank y'all for coming on Girl
Thank
Power.
you for having us, Melissa. Bye-bye.
For me to think that you are the one for me. Left your baby mom, now Cardi's your wife to be. Ex had me locked up, but you came to set me free. They say you're not my type, but you come my type to be. So answer this, can you hold me, can I trust you? Paddock on the wrist, both arms, that's for us two. Mansion on the hills, half if you want to. But that's only if you want to. Se me bailame ahora, le mete sudando su cuerpo de mora.
De todas las baby, ella es la campeona. Se pone loquita si me escucha en la emisora y ahora.
Se me bailame ahora, le mete sudando su cuerpo de mora.
De todas las baby, ella es la campeona. Se pone loquita si me escucha en la emisora y ahora. Y de pensar que yo contigo quiero estar, querer probar algo de ti para no olvidar. Yo no me sé ni su nombre, pero la quiero. Paso y dejo su fragancia.
You're listening to the New Generation Radio, Mad 97 FM, broadcasting from Georgetown, Guyana, in the highest quality, providing our listeners with the latest in world and Caribbean music, local culture, and top personalities. Mad 97 FM is we on.
This is Ravi B, and you're locked to 97.5 FM. Guyana, let me go.
Why? New level, you know. You not have to be my friend, no. Me not have to be your friend. You not buy me food, you not take care of my kids them. Me know them a see from long time, so me not to believe in a mankind. Me future brighter than sunshine. Plus me granny tell me this one time. New level, new level. New level, new level. New level, new level. A them turn Tony in a rebel. You know. New level, new level. New level, new level. New level, new level. Some of them too easy to switch. I must see digital play them. Have a bag of man I press up and play them. Do anything from another man pay them. Only thing you press up and me they can't hear them. Prepare for the fight when you're gone pan a new height. Now because them no want you to do it like a new Nike. My style is hot, the girl in a drop top rain style. My 90s always there anytime when I road time. Not nice. You know. New level, new level. New level, new level. New level, new level. A them turn Tony in a rebel. New level, new level. New level, new level. New level, new level. Jamaica, new money, no problem. Money we are use solve them. Some boy make money put them on friend in a problem. Watch your things like king alarm them. Them want chat me, but a girl me a chat bout pounds and US euro me no stop. Girl them pretty like the money them wine a me account. Real thugs me no forgot bout. Prepare for the fight when you're gone pan a new height. Man a God in a real life. Real life. Work hard for the glory, me do what me feel like. Feel like if you try stop my food, you we dead in a real life. You know. New level. New level. I them turn Tony in a rebel. You know. New level. What yo? New level.
A dancehall promo run the thing. Why?
New level. Prepare for the fight when you're gone pan a new height. Now, man, a God in a real life. Real life. Work hard for the glory, me do what me feel like. Feel like if you try stop my food, you we dead in a real life. You know. New level. New level.
Don't know the thing, man. From early way I attack them, you know. You know the place I got hot. So nice and blacks. Watch out now. Yeah. Drink and smoke if me feel like. Blink them girl if me feel like. Blink my friends if me feel like. If me feel like. Bad people need bad people round them. God people need God people round them. Yeah. Real recognize real. Yeah, real recognize real. Bad people need bad people round them. Say them bad and them a post on Snapchat. Chatty mouth get up. You find them anywhere, any hot spot. Money dark up the place if you black flat. Mother ball in a black frock. Bossy boy get the earth with the drop top. Yeah, anywhere they don't stop. I won't stop. Bad people need bad people round them. God people need God people round them. Yeah. Real recognize real. Yeah, real recognize real. Bad people need bad people round them. Them attack, them reach but me no hear. I'm still at the top, still sitting in my chair. Tell you two blackbird on the window. Shy fly past my jigger. Mix the man and bun cigar, mix the fools and drink beers. Thank God we still living up. No for our dogs, I'm gone. But we ain't giving up. Me keep smoke to get I out of this world. Earth ain't big enough, yeah. Drink and smoke if we feel like. Blink them girl if we feel like. Blink my friends if we feel like.
From the streets of Jamaica coming live and direct. Proud to diggy there, we no need no mic check. Stepping at the place, nobody disrespect. Just I want to get the youths about the choice for them I make. Ooh. Lordy, now join no party. Look what the politician them do to Claudy. Look what the politician them do to Jim. Him son resurrect it and look what them do to him. Cause they will use and dispose of you, those who are close to you. If you choose to tread the road, you know. So brother, if you war tonight, carry the scars of a coffee. I carry the fire of a Melchizedek. When your mind get a chance, represent.
We're back. We're tuned into Mad 97.5 FM. Where is Vion? Where it's totally a Guyanese thing, and you're locked into girl power. Now, let me tell you something. I don't know if y'all were amazed, but that was some very, very deep information, that that the pastor Ritchie Righteous was giving us concerning marriage. And I'm gonna go back and I am going to definitely be listening to this recording because he was dropping so many truth gems. All right, or if you want to say truth bombs, whichever one you want to say, but there were so many simple but powerful truths that he was sharing with us. All right, so I just want to thank him and his beautiful wife Sherry for coming on Girl Power today. And also shortly, our friends from Infinity Hair Salon and Spa, they're going to be joining us via Zoom, and we're going to be coming live from the salon. All right, from the salon and spa. So today should be very, very interesting. All right. So let's just stay tuned.
Never know, say so not. So many of me brother them trapping at the blind. Black full of shot, but no food in a pot. What kind of liberty diet? I and I Allah straight up. Wake up, sons of Jacob. Lay down their arms, real tools if they take up. Stay up, wake up, sons.